Bonjour mon petit chiflier, Amber here, and I am doing something a little different today. I've been toying with this idea for a while now. There have been a handful of books that I have read and just struggled with in the past, and I mean, a lot of the times these books other people seem to really love, and I'm just like, is it just me? And in an attempt for once in my life to not be completely negative and to just completely write off the authors because I just didn't vibe with one of their books, I kind of wanted to, I had the idea, I wanted to give a few of them another shot to see if in another book, maybe like a second book, their writing has grown. A few of the authors I'm thinking about are debut authors, whether their writing style has changed anyway, grown, whatnot. So I decided that I would basically vlog my experience of it and make a whole video, a whole project of it, so to speak, of me giving disappointing authors a second chance. So I have, I think, three books. I'm gonna be honest, I had 4 books. One of the authors on this list was Rory Powers. We know I didn't love Wilder Girls, but I was really intrigued and interested in her second book, Burn Our Bodies Down, until I found out she was one of the publishing book bullies, basically, when all of this drama with Emily A. Duncan, the newest drama with Emily A. Duncan, has unfolded. I found out she was one of the authors bullying Asian authors and letting Emily run rampant, basically, and I just didn't want anything to do with that. I didn't want to really give her any space, Rory, any space on my channel, promote her books, or want anything to do with that type of person. I had bought Burn Our Bodies Down, and I am in the process of returning it. I've already gotten rid of my copy of Wilder Girls, so I'm now down to 3 authors and 3 books that I'll be reading for this vlog. So first and foremost, we have Mary H.K. Choi, author of Emergency Contact. If you are not new here, you know how I felt about Emergency Contact. You know how much I struggled not to give up on Emergency Contact, how much I ranted about. I had to make a whole separate vlog from whatever month, year I read the book. That reading vlog, I had to separate all of my clips into a whole separate vlog because the book just, it didn't do it for me. It made me really angry at some points. But one, I've heard a lot of people complimenting her follow-up book, Permanent Record. One, I'm always going to be a sucker for Mary H.K. Choi cover. That's what got me in trouble the first time, because the Emergency Contact cover is beautiful. This is also beautiful. I've heard a lot of people compliment this, especially people who didn't necessarily love Emergency Contact went on to say they really enjoyed this book. I'm hoping, I have a lot of wishful thinking going on. I'd love to read this and love this and then go on to read Yoke, which just came out. I adored this. So even if I don't love it, I'm keeping it simply because of the cover. This is actually the first one I want to start with because I want to read this in May during Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so this will be the first part of this vlog. So the next author on this list is Evelyn Skye, author of The Crown's Game, Duology, The Crown's Game, and The Crown's Fate. I recently finished the duology. I read The Crown's Fate in, was it January, March, I can't remember. I wanted to love it. It just fell very flat for me, and I have wanted to read the what is this, Circle of Shadows, for a while. I keep thinking that I have a copy of this book. I keep thinking that we got this in Crate and it had like purple pages or something. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong and that I just don't have 2 copies of this book for no reason. This one, I think the first one was in like an Imperial Russian type environment, I think. I'm actually not sure if this is any different, but just from like what little I know of it, I feel like it's going to be a little darker than that book. Hopefully a little better, a lot better. And the last author on this list, my head just started spinning, is Alana K. Arnold, author of Damsel. I have a whole rant review video, and actually I wrote a whole blog post about Damsel as well. I will link both below or in the little card up here. This book made me angry, made me viscerally uncomfortable. When I finished reading it, I couldn't move on until I made the video that I made. I made it at like midnight, and I was like on cough medicine or Benadryl or something, but I just couldn't keep it inside. Oh my god, I didn't enjoy my time reading that book. It was marketed as some sort of like feminist book, but all I was left with was like dread. There was nothing that left me in anything but a state of dread. I'll just say that, and just like anger. So that being said, for this book, for this vlog video, I will be reading Red Hood, which is like a very darker, twisted, I guess, Little Red Riding Hood scenario, I'll say, reimagining perhaps, which we know really intrigues me, and I hope it doesn't do what Damsel did to me. Like I said, the first book I'll be reading for this video is Permanent Record. I'm probably gonna start it tomorrow because today's the 30th of April, and I want to start it in May. I don't really know what this is about. This is on paper, college dropout Pablo Neruda Rind doesn't have a whole lot going for him. His graveyard shift at a 24-hour deli in Brooklyn is a struggle. Plus, he's up to his eyeballs in credit card debt. Never mind the state of his student loans. Pop juggernaut Lana Smart has enough social media followers to populate whole continents. The brand is unstoppable. She graduated from child stardom to become an international icon, and her adult life is a queasy blur of private planes, hotel rooms, and strangers screaming for her just to notice them. When Leanna and Pablo meet at 5 a.m. at a bodega in the dead of winter, it's absurd to think they'd be a thing. But as they discover who they are, who they want to be, and how to defy the expectations of everyone else, Lee and Pab turn to each other, which of course is when things get properly complicated. So this is like a older YA, like transitioning into like new adult territory, so that's really interesting. Here goes. Love these I guess, are they in papers? Title papers? I don't know. Good morning. Good morning. It is 9:57 on Saturday, May 15th, and in little over 30, an hour and a half? Half an hour? A little, in like 45 minutes. No. It's about to be 10 o'clock. Yeah, so in maybe like 45 minutes, I will be fully vaccinated. Finally. So we're about to go get our second dose of the vaccine. I'm stoked. I've got my What Would Dolly Do shirt on, ordered specifically for this occasion. What a wonderful kind of day. All right, I'll see you later. I'll see you when I'm vaccinated. To the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. Don't you cry. We'll never let you die. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Hello, this is my first real check-in for this book, for this vlog. Today is the 18th of, I almost said December, of May. So I started reading this book almost a week ago. Hold on, I have my reading journal right here. Actually, not a week. I started reading this, oh god, on the 14th. So it's been, has it only been 4 days? Okay, whatever. But I'm only on page 19. I have kind of been on a bed rest for the past 3 days. I got my second Moderna shot on Saturday and then went straight from getting vaccinated downtown to the protest in support of Palestine, the Free Palestine protest in the city. And like as soon as I got home from that, all of the symptoms hit me. Fever, shivering, the worst headache I've had in a very long time. To say shivering, I could have just said chills. No, but I was like shivering, like bad. Just the whole to-do, right? Fatigue, that's the word I was looking for. All of those symptoms are gone except the fatigue. I'm still very tired and weak. So I haven't really read in 3 days. I read like 9 pages that day and like 10 the day before when I started reading the book. I don't know yet if that makes sense. I actually just got the text reminding me to do the check-in for the vaccine. So I'm only 19 pages in, and truthfully I thought I was like, okay, I like the first 2 pages. I like Pablo's voice, especially in comparison to Emergency Contact, in comparison to Penny. But I guess they're intentional, but there's some, like, I don't know, comments that didn't sit well with me so far. Like a comment, I'm gonna try to still keep this like non-spoilery. He's talking about his mother not liking him working at the bodega. I'm quoting because he makes a point to remind us that it's not actually a bodega, the health food store. And he's like, she liked, hold on, it's book's right on my lap. She despises my job, how it looks, the optics, the melanin of it. And I get why the statement's there. It just caught me off guard, I think. I get that his mother kind of raised him and is the type of person who wants to kind of like acclimate and blend in, assimilate is the word I'm thinking of, to her surroundings and where they are now, you know, for like ease and safety. I get that. It's just, it caught me off guard. But also including the part about his father being Muslim-ish. I don't know. Maybe because that's what I don't. I'm gonna try really hard to not let those 2 statements hold me back, because I get why they're there. Oh, also this book, I get it. I got it, Mary, that this is New York. I got it. Yeah, I picked that up myself, actually. It's taking me out of the story because it's such a tell not show. I've read a lot of books, YA books, that are set also in New York City, like the boroughs, one of the boroughs of New York City. But the way it's structured, this is so close to my face, we are shown rather than constantly just told, you know. I'm gonna try to get some reading done today. I'm gonna make an ice water and then, okay. afternoon. I'm in the kitchen because I am working on a few new batches of candles. If you can hear the AC, I'm literally standing right under it. I'm very sorry. But I am currently on page 180 of Permanent Record. And while I am trying not to stress about the fact that it's the 23rd and I just seem to be taking my sweet time moving through this book, I just feel so distracted. Like I will have days where I read 100 pages and then right after that, the next day I'll read like nothing. Anywho, I'm on page 180 and I am very pleased to announce that I am really enjoying this book. One of my problems with Emergency Contact was that I really didn't care about the characters at all. I hated both of the main characters. But this book is the complete opposite. I'm really enjoying Pablo's voice and him being the one telling the story. I am invested in the two characters in this book. I don't see how anything's going to work out in the end, but I'm invested nonetheless. I think they're cute. And I love there's like the realistic quality of everything that's going on right now. Also, this book very, very much reminds me of something that I was like dabbling with, playing around with. It started really as a filler project that I had started putting on Wattpad in between projects when I wasn't focusing on a project, and I just kind of dabble in that sometimes when I can't focus on something I'm supposed to be working on. But this really reminds me of that, except different aging, you know. Also, like I said, right before I started reading it, I do like that they are older characters. Yeah, I'm just pleasantly surprised. I'm pleased, and I hope it doesn't take a violent turn and disappoint me, you know. Okay, so last night, read very, very early this morning, I finished Permanent Record, one book down off of this little adventure, and I'm so pleased to report that I fully enjoyed my time reading this book. I was going to repeat what I've been repeating about how I struggled through Emergency Contact, but obviously because this video is me giving disappointing authors a second chance, so we already know that. But my reading experience for this was like completely opposite to that experience, I guess. I was able to connect to these characters and care about these characters, not even just Pablo. I didn't hate Lee, and I understood like a lot of her issues, but going back to Pablo, I saw so much of myself in him, so I could like really truly relate to his struggles and everything he's going through, like his insecurities and his desires, I guess, or his struggles with his desires or whatever. And I really enjoyed this story through his POV and his voice in this story. And like I said, there are a lot of similarities to something I'm writing, so I guess maybe that also helped me connect to that story, to the story. I also liked that it seemed like it was a very easy read. I know I took my time reading through this book, but when you actually get into the flow of reading, it actually goes by really quickly. Like last night or yesterday, I didn't get started reading until like almost the end of the day, and I generally like to read like 100 pages a day if I can. And I just thought, my plan yesterday was to finish reading the book when I woke up, but I had so many other things to do that kept getting in my way. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'll read like 50 pages, and then before you know it, I was like going into the final 20 pages of the book. So I really prefer the writing in this book. You can definitely see the growth between books in writing style and prose. So that being said, I am Really looking forward to reading Yoke, which is Mary H.K. Choi's newest book. It came out a couple months ago. I was going to get it anyway because I'm always sucked in by these gorgeous, gorgeous covers, and Yoke is no different. That cover is stunning. Also, it's nice to have a lot of tabs that aren't just me screaming at the book. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I am excited to read Yoke. I've heard really good things about that. And I trust the good things now because I feel pleasantly surprised. I think this is such a good way to start off this video, this vlog. It makes me nervous though that I started so high and now everything else is like a downhill battle. I shouldn't speak that into the universe, but we're starting strong. I gave this ended up giving this like a 4 out of 5 stars. There was nothing really keeping it from 5 stars. 4 just feels right. So I'm not sure what book comes next in this adventure. I don't know when I'm going to pick up the next book for this video. I don't remember what other books do I have to read. Red Hood and that Evelyn Skye book. We'll see. We'll see. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I enjoyed this book because I didn't know, man. Honestly, I think part of me, I think I want to save Red Hood for last because Damsel was another like full disaster of a reading experience for me in a completely different way. So I feel like I'm working my way up to get to that. So maybe I'll read the Evelyn Skye book next. When? Who knows? But I'll see you then. Okay, hello, and we're back, and it is August. I didn't realize there was such a gap between the sections of this video until I went back and watched the clips from Permanent Record. Yes? Sure. From the last book, which I filmed in May, and it's August. That being said, I am preparing to read both of the next 2 books this month, starting with Circle of Shadows, which I am going to start as soon as I finish this clip. Brief reminder, I don't know, you don't need a reminder because this is all one video for you. It's only a bunch of months later for me, but this is by Evelyn Skye, who is the author of the Crown's Game, the Crown's Fate duology. All I really know about this one is that there are like assassins or something involved. Sora can move as silently as a ghost and hurl throwing stars with lethal accuracy. Her Gemina, Damon, can win any physical fight blindfolded and with an arm tied behind his back. They are apprentice warriors of the Society of Taigas, marked by the gods to be trained in magic and fighting arts to protect the kingdom of Kichona. As their graduation approaches, Sora and Damon look forward to proving themselves worthy of belonging to the elite group, but in a kingdom free of violence since the Blood Rift Rebellion many years ago, it's been difficult to make their mark. So when Sora and Damon encounter a strange camp of mysterious soldiers while on a standard scouting mission, they decide the only thing to do to help their kingdom is to infiltrate the group. Taking this risk will change Sora's life forever and lead her on a mission of deception that may fool everyone she's ever loved. Love, spies, and adventure abound as Sora and Damon unravel a complex web of magic and secrets that might tear them and their entire kingdom apart. Alright, so this one is it seems like it's a more, I guess fantasy, I guess. Seems a little darker, more action-packed than The Crown's Fate, The Crown's Game. I still don't know going in. I'm a little nervous. I was going back and forth between which book to read next, even though I know I said in the last clip that I was going to read this book next. And it's confirmed because I put the poll on Twitter and on Instagram. Both polls, this book won in both polls, so here goes. Good afternoon from the bathroom. I am crusty and pajamaed, but that's okay. I'm popping in because I haven't really done a check-in regarding Circle of Shadows. Just whacked myself on my collarbone. Anyway, I'm 150 pages in. After like 3 days, I finally passed the 100 page mark, and it's been a struggle, if I'm being honest. To get to this point, I didn't think I would. I'm gonna be honest, I am not loving this book. I was hoping, maybe naively, that after enjoying Permanent Record so much, the rest of the books in this vlog would be a breeze, and like, oh, this was just a one-off. All of these are perfect. All these second chance books are fantastic, and it's not the case with this book. I truthfully I couldn't tell you what's going on. Nothing is really sticking. I don't care about the story or the characters. The villain is super bland. Also, there's something, this isn't gonna make sense. There are two things. One, this isn't the part that's not gonna make sense. There's something very juvenile about the writing. And I don't mean that as in because this is a YA or the characters are like teenagers. It's the writing itself, as if it was written by a child or a preteen. That's coming from someone who has plenty of writing to reference from when I was younger, and I just can't click with it. Also, this is the part that's not going to make a lot of sense. There's something about this book that feels like, which makes me feel like I've jumped into a sequel without having read the first book. And like I said, it's not going to make sense. I can't really explain what it is, but there are a lot of things that you're just expected to figure out on your own. Like, a lot of times, you know, that's not a bad thing. You know, with like show not tell, there's usually like world building or like character, whatever. There's enough within the plot that just makes it feel like you're discovering a new world rather than you're just misinformed. And this is all just 150 pages in. I'm desperately hoping that something happens that I care about, that it picks up, maybe. Also, this is mildly spoilery, so proceed with caution. So I don't understand how this Gemina bond works, where oh, what's her name? Whatever the main character's name is, I don't even care right now, can sense all of Damon's feelings, but he can stop them always right in the nick of time when it comes to his feelings regarding her. And I don't think that would work if he just feels something, right? You don't think about like your feelings all the time. If he just has a feeling, why doesn't she feel? Okay, anyway, that's where I'm at, and I wanted to get this off my chest before I start reading for the day. Oh, it's raining. Okay, change of plan. Hi, hello. I'm exhausted. So my plan was, I had to go out today. My mom had an appointment and I went with her. And the plan was to, well, not at the appointment, but today, the plan for today was to finish Circle of Shadows. I have 150 pages left. Well, now I have 141 pages. I don't think that math is right. I read 9 pages while I was waiting for her, and I think that's probably all I'm gonna get done today because I'm so exhausted. All I want is a thing of ice water, a cold shower, and the wishbone chicken and cornbread that we got on our way home, in that order. So like I said, I don't know how much more reading I'm going to do today. It's already like almost 8. If it's, no, it's 8. It's after 8. But I thought I'd pop in. Like I said, read 9 books today, and I'm just really not having a great time with this book, and I'm so afraid it's going to put me in a slump. Maybe I'm probably going to break this in Red Hood up with a nice romance in between. I'm even too afraid to read Six of Crows because I don't know, I just need to I'm gonna need to decompress, and not in a good way after reading this book. I did get some travel perfumes today, so that's exciting. I'm wearing my Harriet shirt. You can't see it, hello, but I had to rep Harriet's today. Oh, also, I keep wanting to call it Woodstock. Wishbone they have like cocktail slushies, takeout cocktail slushies, and I had a watermelon vodka lemonade. Yes, great. Where has it been all my life? All right, let me go. Let me go. Okay, let's talk about it. And by it, I don't mean the giant winter hat. We just found this, and I just, whatever. What I mean is, let's talk about Circle of Shadows. I finished this book maybe like a week ago now, maybe. Okay, so I went into this a little hopeful, optimistic, naive, some might say, because after my surprise with Permanent Record and how much I enjoyed the book, I was hoping that this video would just be me pleasantly surprised by all these authors that I was previously disappointed with and loving their follow-up work to the work that I didn't like. I haven't had this much trouble with a book in so long. I haven't been viscerally angry about the mere existence of a book in so long. And truthfully, I feel like I owe The Crown's Game an apology, because I put that book on the list, this list that led us to reading this book, and while what is the name of the book? The Crown's Game was a disappointment for me. Yes, I didn't really like the book. No, I realize I can't say I didn't like the book. I'm talking about the first one, not the second one. The second one should not have been a thing. There was no need for a sequel. But we're not talking about that duology right now. The Crown's Game was just fine for me. I had a lot of issues with it, but it was still fine. I just wanted more from it. It was not what I was hoping for. It was not what I expected from reading the synopsis. Somehow we have digressed. If you had told me this book was written before that, but maybe they were published out of order, I would have believed you. I have so many things. I'm not going to talk through all my issues. Maybe I'll do a blog post about it. So for a lot of this book, I felt like I was skimming. Nothing was really sticking with the book. I hated the dialogue so much. I am a dialogue girl. I am a dialogue hoe. I will go through a whole book based on the dialogue alone. Forget the plot, do the characters mesh. Even when writing my own books, I struggle with inserting plot between dialogue. my characters are just vibing and hanging out with each other basically. I struggle with the dialogue. I struggle with the plot, the story. The way this was written was, it feels like the author is younger than the characters they're writing. And yeah, that's really it. A lot of the world, there is not a lot of world building actually. There's a lot of things told to you that are never really fleshed out or told in a way that you are to understand. Like the whole Gemina thing, the Gemina bond, were never, that whole premise or plot line is never really explained, therefore it doesn't feel necessary. Also, I was under the impression when I picked up this book that this was an Asian inspired world that it's set in, but yet everyone is like fair skinned and like platinum blonde except for Damon, who has blue hair for some reason. I guess it doesn't tell us why his hair is blue. Also, that plot twist was stupid. But then I was perusing Goodreads reviews of the book, and a blogger, I can't remember who it is right now, I'll link their review below. I think I saw where Evelyn Skye clarified that this is not an Asian world. It's supposed to be a fictional magical world. Also, it's supposedly like a hodgepodge of different cultures, even though I personally didn't see that. I saw, like I said, a lot of influence from Asian culture, like the food and other elements. But okay, let's say this isn't an Asian story, Asian world, and it's this completely made up magical world realm. There's still no black people or any sort of other diverse ethnicities or races. So what was the reason? To me, I'm not going to really speak on it, but to me, it felt, that feels like a cop-out as to being called out to writing a world that still fully aligns to basically white aesthetics. Anywho, what else is there to say? I didn't care about the characters at all. I feel like there's no real connection aside from what we're told. There's so much filler in this book, so much filler, like full filler chapters, and it's not necessary. You could have cut out a nice chunk of this book and just gotten to the point. I could go on and on. Also, the romance storyline made me really mad. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil anything really, but I'll just say I don't understand how you write a story where someone's pining after someone for an entire novel and then they just switch with no sort of build up or connection. Anyway, this was not a fun time. I got like to the point where I had 45 pages left of this book and I really wanted to DNF it. And truthfully speaking, I pushed through it. Like, I literally crawled through the last 45 pages of the book and it wasn't worth it. I could have ended the book there and nothing would have mattered. Nothing would have changed. Oh, also the villain of this book is so bland. I don't feel anything, whether it's like, oh, I love a villain, or like I don't feel intimidated by him. I don't feel angered by anything that he's done. He's just there doing stuff for whatever reason. Oh yeah, I crawled through. I could have gone without it. The fact that I didn't DNF this book was a miracle, and I think I only didn't DNF because I was reading it for this vlog. If I were just reading it just to read it, it would have been gone. And I can confidently say I will not be picking up book 2. I don't care what happens for the rest of the story, and that's so rare to me. A lot of times I'll read books that I don't love and something will happen in the ending, at least in the ending, that'll grab me, or enough will have happened in the story that I'm curious to see how it unfolds going forward. Like, I can list off plenty of books. I mean, The Crown's Game, for one, the way it ended, I wanted to figure out what happened in The Crown's fate, which was a mistake. Forest of Souls, I didn't love the first book, but I do want to continue the series. Just like, I can list off several books. A River of Royal Blood, I was intrigued enough to want to continue the series. It's a no for me, dog. So now I am going to go back into the living room and I'm going to start Red Hood by Lana K. Arnold. And honestly, I'm really nervous because of how bad my reading experience was for Damsel. And I'm really nervous that on the tail of Circle of Shadows that I'm gonna regret doing this whole video and that my whole reading month is going to be jacked up. But I will say, I didn't like Damsel. I thought it was really extreme and dismal and like there was a lot of things done simply for shock value, just for no real purpose. But the writing wasn't bad. I think the writing was really good. So that is helpful going into this book. I'm once again intrigued by the premise of it. It's a lot shorter than this one, so I'm only 12 pages into this book and okay, so this is going to be a little spoilery. Sorry about that. I just have to I have to say, I gotta get it out of my head. So the book starts, first of all, this book is told it's second person point of view, which will matter in a minute. This book opens, it's the night of homecoming. So we go through homecoming, go through the motions, and our main character, Biazu, gets her period for the very first time ever in the midst of getting her bits kibbled in the back seat of a truck. I'm sorry. The way I said this when I read it, I would have just like parkoured out of that car without a word and just disappeared. And then that's exactly what she did. She didn't even tell the boy there was blood all over his face. He's like, what's wrong? And she just opens the door and leaves. And that's a mood. Here's the issue, as if that's not an issue. Hey Alana, why do I need to read about a 16-year-old getting the business at homecoming, like explicitly, as if I'm reading like a romance novel? Yes, I know this isn't my demographic, I'm older than YA, but why are we writing it? Let's start. Sorry, I can't. Whew. Also, which makes it really uncomfy, is that, like I said, the story is second person point of view. So you're reading, you do this and you do that, and like he does this to you, and I'm like, whoa, no, backtrack, back it up. Even if I were 16 reading this, I'm like, I don't think he's doing that to me, actually. Well, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing and she didn't say anything to him. Like, I relate on not at all to that. I relate on getting your period late. I was 15, so like, girl, I get it. I would have cha-cha slide real smooth out of the vicinity and never said a word to this boy again. But why did I have to? Why couldn't you just said like, let's get down to business, and then like, that's it? Ooh, there's blood. Alana K. Arnold books make me uncomfortable. So, and not in like a, oh, it makes me uncomfortable, let's think about it. No, it's just like, why? Hi, hello, today is August 16th. I am 64 pages into Red Hood and it's fine. Anywho, so I'm trying to read 100 pages today, which will bring me to page 134 by the end of today. In the meantime, I'm doing a treatment of my hair. Yesterday marked 1 year since the chop. This is the big chop, and it's just been really interesting to see how much my hair has grown back since then. I also have some new candles that I need to go work on right now. That's what I got up to do. So I'm about to pour some sequel candles. Last year at this time I dropped the Isla Nublar and the Hominopter candles, and this year I'm doing a follow-up, and I'm doing an Isla Sorna candle and an Isla Sorna candle and an Share candle. And the next ones I have to do after that are my birthday drops. So I have a lot of candle work to do before we leave in September. Hello from the kitchen. Today is August, I think it's the 18th perhaps, and I have exactly 100 pages left of this book, so I figured I'd just pop in, and so did the AC apparently. I really just wanted to say that I am enjoying this far more than I enjoyed Damsel. I feel like there's actual plot going on, there's actual like character depth to an extent. I feel like I'm able to, you know, connect more to the story. It's not just trauma after trauma after trauma happening in this story as in Damsel. I'm desperately hoping that Alana lets the girlies be friends and have a relationship, because that was the thing in Damsel that I struggled with so much. It's like the sort of like the hollow, every guy in this book is evil, but also the women are awful to each other. I'm just hoping that we don't take a turn and this becomes that. So yeah, I'm nervous about what's going to happen in the last 100 pages. I have thoughts and feelings, especially regarding Bisu's grandmother and that storyline and like the history of their family gifts, I'll say. But yes, I will see you, I guess, when I'm done with this. I have, before I sit down to read today, I need to put up my candles that the most recent ones I poured. My Amshare candle and the Isla Sorna candles. Each one, if you get one, they're made to smell similar to the candles they are the sequel of. So for this one, it smells similar to the Hamanoptera candle. There are differences, obviously, or else I wouldn't be selling the same candle, but they're meant to complement each other and go with each other. That's not what we're here to do. So I have to put these up. I need to work on labels, but I'll do that later. And I also want to make myself an ice water before I sit down. All right. I finished Red Hood yesterday, and I am of two minds. I'm mixed about it, but I am so surprised that I did not hate this book the way I did Damsel. There are a lot of things in this book that don't really sit right with my spirit, like I mentioned before, all of the like explicit teenage sex. Hello? Not even just like the reading of it, but the writing of it. They're like 16. I don't need to know. That's okay. And like the whole vibe of this book is that scene from Jennifer's Body. You're killing people. No, I'm killing boys. That's the whole vibe of this book, and that's all I really can say without giving too many spoilers. While I get I get what she was doing, like especially with the Little Red Riding Hood aspect. I feel like but at the same time I actually enjoyed reading it, if that makes sense. So while it didn't, I feel like I was also able to get into the story. Like I said in the last clip, I was able to, this is a very readable book. I try to read at like 100 pages a day in general, and I was able to really fly through this book. It's
a quick read, so it's like easy to consume, which helps. I was reading Goodreads reviews. A lot of people did not enjoy the second person POV, and initially I thought that was going to be an issue, and it is for, like I said, the explicit teenage sex and like other bits where it's like, and then you do this and he does this to you, and I'm like, no, 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 jail. But like, as far as like a narration style in general, I didn't have any sort of struggle with it. I thought it was cool. It's different from what I've read before. I don't read second person. God, okay. In fact, when I was trying to read the fifth, oh god, book Twitter's gonna come for me. What is that book? The N.K. Jemisin book. I keep wanting to call it The Fifth Element, but that's the movie. The fifth season. Whew. I struggled with the, I think, isn't it second person, at least the first part of it? I struggled with that in that book, but I didn't in this book. I don't know what else there is really to say that I haven't said that I can say without spoiling the book. But unlike Damsel, a lot of my issues with Damsel, let's compare because that's what we're here for. I didn't care for, hated Amma as a main character. All this stuff was happening to her, and while all this stuff happening to her pissed me off, I still didn't care about her as a character. I think I mentioned how I liked her cat more than I was more attached to her cat than her. I didn't have that problem with Bizu. I was able to, like, I guess, invest in her as a character. She was still a little, I don't know. I'm mixed. I feel like I don't want to say she was a flat character, because I don't think she was a flat character. She was just kind of like her character type gives me strong Bella Swan vibes, but like not, if that makes sense. Like, you know, she's the homebody who is really cool among herself, and along the way, well, unlike Bella, along the way she makes friends. So she's not Bella. Anyway, but like that sort of vibe. So I was able to care about the character. I also appreciated, this is the thing I was really worried about, that it wasn't completely the story where all the other women around her were treating her like trash as well. She was able to build friendships with other girls, and the strong relationship with her grandmother, and even like the memories of her mother. Also really appreciate that James was allowed to thrive in this book. Her boyfriend James is like the first character we meet in this book, and I'm like, I swear to you, if she makes this black boy just a hollow villain just because he has a penis, I'm gonna be mad. Because that's what we were given in Damsel. Just hollow peen swinging villains just for the sake of that. But it wasn't, and I'm thrilled about that. And yeah, I forgot what else I wanted to say. I can say I was pleasantly surprised by Red Hood. Now, I don't know if I'm going to read another Alana K. Arnold book, because her style or brand of feminism isn't really my thing, you know? It seems very white feminist, only uterus havers matter, you know? It seems like just the hollow type where at least in the books, everybody's a predator. And I'm just like, sure. So that was Red Hood. Great. I don't want to put my head through a wall, so that's always a plus. So that was fun. That was a journey, actually. I don't know if fun was the word I'd use for some of it, but that was a journey. There was what am I trying to say? This was my experience giving 3 disappointing authors a second chance. For the most part, I think it was a win. I definitely would say it was a win for my relationship with Mary H.K. Choi. Permanent Record was my favorite of the 3 that I read. Obviously, Permanent Record is a quality book. I really loved that book. I really enjoyed my time reading that book, and I'm so thrilled about that. Circle of Shadows. If I ever say I'm going to pick up a Evelyn Skye book, please inquire about my well-being. I can't go through that again. I can't do it again. I will not. And then I don't know. I am disappointed that I didn't get to read the Rory Power book, and that all that really hit the fan right as I got the book. It is what it is. We don't support bullies in this house. Yeah, I am really loving doing themed vlogs right now. I actually just started an intro for the next one that I'm starting right now. I have another themed vlog that I'm going to be doing in September. I think that's where I'm at right now with my channel. This is what I'm enjoying doing with my channel. If you also enjoy these type of vlogs, please give it please give this a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down below so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.